All right, we're moving on to our third section for today's review. So we have 5 sections, we're moving on to the third. The third is just matching graphs. So this is no inverse, no composition, anything like that. It's just basically, hey, what matches this graph? Which, believe it or not, for pre-cal, that is its own TEAC. If you know what that stands for Texas, they say students should understand how to match a graph from an equation. And so that's all we're going to do here. Since there's no special symbol, if I'm on my Desmos chart, there's no special symbol for this problem, I'm just going to choose a blank graph. The reason I do that is just because it makes it cleaner. There's no other writing and all that pre-programmed. So now I'll type in the equation that's given to me, f of x equals, and I'll do the division line first to make it easier, x to the 4th plus 5x minus 2 over 3x squared minus 12, and I had a plus 2 on the outside. So as I compare this graph, I see that there's I don't know how to describe it. There's 3 pieces. The parabola on the far left, it goes lower than the parabola on the right, and in the middle there's kind of a parabola going upside down that still has a higher peak on the left than the right side. So that's what I'm going to be looking for over here. So I can quickly see the F has a parabola on the left lower than the right. H does as well. G does not, and J does not. J, it's lopsided backwards. So I'm going to erase these 2 options or eliminate those 2, which means the answer is either going to be F or H. And I can do that by a number of ways. I could look at, like, this point is just below 6. This point here is about 3.5, maybe. So this point is 5 point something. The y value, and I'll do approximately, like y is approximately 5 point, I don't know, I'll just put 7. And over here, this is approximately, the y value is approximately 3.5. And so I could look off of that piece. I could look off of this peak. That one might even be easier. This one looks like the y value is approximately 3. And this one, the y value looks like it's just slightly below 1. So I'll say y is approximately 0.9. And I could check it out and see which one matches. So I go over to my graph. This says 5.6. This one says, I'm looking at the y's, not the x's, but the y values, 2.8. So I have 5.6 and 2.8, which my guesses were kind of close. So F is the correct solution on this one. So this graph is just shifted too low. My guess is what this one is over here is if you forget to put the +2. That's my guess. I don't remember. This problem came from years and years ago, and I can't remember the rationale whenever they show like why they put these options, what students might do. But my guess is if you forget the +2, you get this graph. Let me try it. This is now 3.6. I put 3.5. This is now about 0.8. I put 0.9. Yeah, that's what this graph is. So if you forget the +2, H looks like the correct answer. If you put the +2, then F is the correct answer. Okay, now let's come to this next one. And I'm going to let you try this one on your own first. I want to first draw your attention, though. This has a weird symbol. This one's different than the previous problem. It says, which graph represents f of x equals this weird symbol? So since I have a symbol, I'm going to close this. I'm going to go to Desmos, and I'm going to let you look down the list of symbols and see if you can find it. The answer is number 2, piecewise. This is a piecewise function. So I'm going to click this graph, and it pulls this up. Now here's how I did it. This looked familiar. This is very similar to how I set up the inverses, where you have an equation with a restriction. Desmos will not let you type it in as 3 and 1. What do I mean by 3 and 1? Like 1 f of x equals all 3. So what I did is I labeled it f1, f2. So this is like f1, this is f2, and this is the restriction over here. To get a f3, you need to open up this folder. I'm going to pause the video for a second and let you try on your own to see if you can come up with your correct answer, and then I'll come back on. Okay, I've had some good questions, so I'm going to unpause my video real quick. For clarification, This whole line goes with this F1 piece. So here, I'll do the first part with you. F1 is going to be negative x minus 2. And the if, this is the restriction. If x is less than or equal to negative 2, where you go to restriction 1, you're going to put, this is the if portion. If x is less than or equal to negative 2. So now I have this portion correct. So for the rest, what you need to do is F2 and F3, representing the middle expression and the bottom expression. All right, so now that I've unpaused this video, I've typed in the equations. So I have the second expression listed here, and then on step 3a, I put the third expression. I notice that there is a break. That's called a jump discontinuity, if you remember that, which the jump discontinuity eliminates answer choice A and answer choice C. They are now out because they did not have that break. Down on here, we have a solid dot on the bottom piece and an open circle on the bottom piece. So if we check the graph, what Desmos will not show you on Piecewise here is they will not give you open circles. But I did put in quite a few points so that it'll place closed circles where closed circles should be. And so what I did there is I just typed in the x value numbers. So if you needed one, like say a 10, if you just type a 10 right here, it'll automatically put a closed dot. So I just did that to help you out. I can see that this one has a closed dot. So the bottom piece should have the closed dot, which means B is correct and D is incorrect because they put the closed dot on this parabola part rather than the flat line. And so that's why D is incorrect.